Stay in focus, camera. You've been so good for so long. Hi, everybody. I'm back. You just missed my Resident Evil stream. I was playing Resident Evil 8. Had quite a bit of fun. But now we lift. I'm going to have to get my stuff set up still a little bit. I moved everything in this room, but I haven't set the fans up yet. So that's the most important part. Without the fans, why are you not turning on? Because you're not plugged in. That's why. Without the fans, I'm toast. Right? Fans are number one. Get some air running through here. All right. And then have this fan come from the other angle. I gotta get some music playing too. I got my fan coming up and down. I didn't know it actually went straight up. So next, I'm gonna grab my bench. This is gonna come up to the front. I'm gonna start with overhead presses, then bench press, probably some dips. See what else I feel like doing. But today isn't gonna be going really hard. I've been beating myself up every day since probably, I don't know, probably Thursday last week without any breaks. So my body's starting to tell me it's time to ease off a little bit. All right. Yeah, I got 2 water bottles. I'm going to be let's make sure I change the title right. Chest and shoulders. Made it. All right. Yeah, I can't be bothered to leave to refill up a water bottle, so I try to stock up in advance. This isn't going to be a really long workout, maybe only an hour. Just warm up my shoulders first, work on some internal and external rotation of the shoulder joint. Oh, I've refilled them both. I had drank 1 water bottle throughout my stream, as well as I've been pretty hydrated today. For supper, I basically had chicken soup, homemade chicken soup. That was the chicken breast, broth, and vegetables. Just a regular healthy meal that I have, except the difference is that you fill up a lot more on the water. All right. Internal and external rotation of the shoulders, one of their primary functions. All right. I'm going to use my squat rack for my overhead presses. And then I'm going to use my squat rack for my bench press. And life will be good. Where is this? Okay. Normally, before every stream, I spend more time setting up my workouts in advance. I'll get the bars ready, I'll get the weights ready for what I want to use. Right now, coming off my Resident Evil stream, I didn't want to leave you guys hanging for too long, so I'm in the middle of sorting this out as we speak. Which reminds me, I haven't set up my music yet. Workouts aren't the same without music. All right, let's get the music going before I lift anything. All right, so I can close the programs I don't need. Open up Spotify. I'm going to try to get a haircut relatively soon. Boom, boom, boom. All right. I don't like where I put this thing. This thing is in the way. And it's going to be hard to move now. Let's just put this on the floor. Move my squat right back. Right now I've got baby weight on here. Yeah, that's why they made 3 movies on it, right? There's Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Is it just Honey, I Shrunk the Kids 1, 2, and 3? I think so. That's boring. I mean, that's a boring title. I remember Look Who's Talking. They got Look Who's Talking Now, and Look Who's Talking. I guess it's Look Who's Talking 2, and Look Who's Talking Now. Oh. The weight looks crooked, but it's not. It's just the angle of the camera. Oh, I'm stiff. I'll read your message after this set. You can see where I got some tan lines under my chest, where my muscles provide shade underneath. I get some threads on the end of those. Elf Ayoga, how's it going? Yeah. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. I got a weird song playing right now. It's all harmonica. And normally I don't mind harmonica, but I don't know what I'm listening to right now. I'll switch to the next one. There's dancing in the park every Wednesday now. I have the opportunity to go, but it's been raining today, as well as I've just been tired. So I decided not to go this week, even though last week I just happened to walk by and they were dancing bachata and salsa in the park. There was two people who were teaching a lesson on, like they were on the stage and everyone else was doing the choreography behind them. I happened to walk by and they waved me like, "Hey, try this out, come and join us." And so I did, and they didn't expect that I already knew how to do bachata and salsa. So I'm just like going in there and doing my hips. And I started halfway in the choreography and I was still able to follow along with everything. And I ended up paying $100 to essentially buy into their program for a year. So essentially, for the next year, I have access to their weekly social distance bachata classes, as well as their online content. Yeah. The only thing that would make my dancing better is if I had a partner to lead. My interest is mostly in leading and following that aspect of dance. So I haven't ever had any interest in choreography. And the choreography that I've really been interested in is choreography based around leading and following. And there's a lot you can do with leading and following that you can't do by yourself because you're like the moves only work because you're leading them. And so like the follow, like you wind up and you use the stretch in their body and you release and they are essentially bouncing off you and there's leverage and there's compression and it goes from like it becomes very easy. Whereas if you didn't have a partner to sort of bounce off of, the moves would be very hard and laborious. Like if you don't have anyone there, you're practicing. You gotta like push. Like you want to spin, you gotta really throw yourself into it. While meanwhile, if you got someone to bounce off of, it just works. But now that we're in pandemic times, I don't have that luxury. So I'll just go and just move my move myself, do what I can, and all right, next set. These seem like short songs all of a sudden. Every time I pay attention, it's a different song. All right, let's add some weight. I need a haircut. I was meaning to call to make an appointment today, but I forgot. Whew, my shoulders are already tired. I did 400 pull-ups on Sunday, and it really fatigued my shoulders. So it's like 3 days later, and they might not be 100%. All right, so how much weight do I want to add? Normally I would just go to like 100 and normally I go to like 135 pounds and just get some volume in there, but I don't feel like even going that heavy today. Maybe I'll go a little less. I'll go to 125 pounds. Throw on an extra. All right, let's get the threads on. I see one thread here. Where's my other one? Here it is. Yeah, right now I'm basically waiting to see if there's this one of my viewers. It's her birthday today. Good old Oni-chan. And from when we were speaking, was it yesterday? No, it was 2 days ago. Didn't sound like she had any plans, so told her if I saw her, I saw her, but I'd be here doing my chest workout. I still haven't forgot. I will check out the Instagram reaction video that you sent to me. I need I need a mirror in front of me and a mirror behind me so I can flex my back and in real time see what it actually looks like, so I can sort of experiment and see how, when I do little manipulations, how that actually looks. At my old place, I had mirrors set up so I could see my back. In this place, I don't. So I will flex my back on stream, and then I will go look at the video later. But I don't have any real time, as well as Mirrors are a little bit more, what's the word? Mirrors are a little bit more, I don't know, realistic than the streaming videos. As in, it's you can get a better you get better perspective in some way from a mirror than you can watching the video later. It's just like where the camera is sort of changes the perspective. All right, let's just next set. Oh, I don't know if I'm up to this right now. Oh, 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 shit. That was not good. I was too far this way, so it was impossible to re-rack the other weight without manipulating it when the weight was out in front of me, when it was in a little bit of a precarious position. And then I overshot it, and I put the weight past the bar, so I had to catch it and lift it back this way to stick it back on the rack. Yeah, so I figure I'll go for another hour at most. I got a squeeze ball for this one. Oh, a little bit dribbled out there. Chris, 14700. How's it going? I'm doing a little bit of overhead press right now. Then I'm gonna move on to bench. Probably do some band work. Not gonna go super crazy today. I've been having a lot of really good workouts, and I need to let my body. I need to just go through the motions without really pushing my body any further. It was my birthday on Sunday, and I went all out. Like even leading up to my birthday, It's the same as for people make their New Year's resolutions, right? Well, for myself, I don't want to like not do anything and then start on New Year's. So I'll know what I want to do for the next year, and I might start like a month in advance, and I will start and every day leading up to New Year's. I'm doing it, hit New Year's running, and then just keep going. And so leading up to my birthday, every workout I was just crushing it. And then my birthday came. I went outside. I went outside. It was a really hot day. Put on my suntan lotion, and I went and did some calisthenics in the park. Um, went and did a butt ton of pull-ups. Made some videos that I post on Instagram that I'm pretty happy with. And then yesterday, I absolutely crushed legs. Like I felt like a monster. Like it was my entire workout was just compound lifts. I did squats, leg presses, assisted squats, and then I did some isolation in between. But yeah, that's the sweet bottle. All right, next set. Oh, I got an ad now. Just when I need the music to pump me up, it stops. So this is 125 pounds. Let's try to rack this thing without screwing it up this time. Oh, well, well, people who are just starting out are more likely to respect their limits of their body. Although there's some people that just want to look the part and give no thought to what they're doing. But um, like myself, I just started off with a pair of dumbbells and just learned a couple exercises. And it's once you start to be able to lift a lot of weight that uh, you really start pushing yourself. So if that's a quote, who said that? If you think lifting is dangerous, try being weak. Did somebody say that? Oh, I'm feeling uh, I'm feeling workout brain already, and I've barely done anything yet. It's been a long couple days that have led up to this moment, and believe you me, I'm gonna sleep well tonight. I'm gonna do one more set of overhead presses, and then I'm gonna move on. Um, I feel like doing lat pullovers today, so I might rush my way through my bench press. Just get a little bit of hypertrophy in. It's getting hot in here. I'm tempted to bring out a hat just to keep the hair on my face. Oh. All right, next set. Just gonna shake off that flex I just did. This is gonna be my last overhead press. I'm gonna stop at 125 pounds today. Don't want to blow up my shoulders. It's so hot. Jeez. I got two fans going here. It's sapping my energy. It's so hot. Wow. Give me a minute. I'm gonna MVP of the stream right here, Mr. Fan. Easy. I've been training for just over 9 years now, except I've gone through a few very specific phases. Um, it took me 4 years of doing everything right and training like a maniac to hit my peak. So I started training at 24. At 28, I was 225 pounds with an 8-pack. And I trained specifically, like I leaned out a little bit for my 10th year high school reunion so I could have an 8-pack. And after my 10th year high school reunion, I caught Lyme disease, which is an autoimmune disease that you get from ticks. And at the time, I didn't know what was wrong with me. All I knew is that I was so tired, I couldn't function, and I went from all the way up here, 4 years of training nonstop, this is where my entire focus went into, to being able to, wanting to sleep 24 hours a day. And I ended up losing like 60 pounds of muscle before I got cured. And once I got diagnosed, I got cured really quickly afterwards. But for a while, for 6 months, I didn't know what was going on with me. I just knew my body was shutting down and something was wrong. So I lost most of my muscle, and I started right from ground zero again and did it all over again, but trained a little bit differently. I started experimenting with different things, and then from then until 2018, I built a really nice body. And then in 2018, I herniated my disc and I tore my glute. And what happened is for 2 years, until January 2020, I could not train my legs, and my legs just shriveled up. I lost most of the size in my legs. And so 2020 came, and I went from not being able to pick up 45 pounds off the ground to, by the October 2020, I was deadlifting 575 pounds. Every week I was getting stronger as my weakest link was getting stronger. And then I was 220 pounds end of October 2020, and then lockdown number 2 hit. And for the first time in 9 years, I couldn't find the motivation to work out. So I dropped 30 pounds. I actually dropped a little bit more. I went down to 180 before I started picking myself back up. And then very quickly I bounced back from 180 to 190. And then I've been staying there since. So right now I'm currently at 190 pounds. And this is actually, I haven't been less than 200 pounds while I've been training for years. The only time I go below 200 pounds is when I had my autoimmune disease and when I hurt myself, when I hurt my disc and I tore my glutes. But even then, once I started training, I very quickly bounced back up to over 200 pounds. So the body I have now, I don't have as much muscle, just pure muscle packed onto it as I have been typically used to. But I've really grown comfortable in my skin. It took me a couple of months just to be comfortable being this size, but now I'm perfectly content. And it's a little bit hard to put more muscle on without access to minimizing my footprint at the gym. I had to read that for a second. You're stuck at the edge. I was thinking you're talking about something fitness related, and I was like, the edge. Oh, what edge is that? All right. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to do my last shoulder exercise. Then I'm going to set up my squat rack and my travel bench as a bench press, and take it from there. So to answer your question there, Krish, I've been training 9 years. To get in peak, like to put on as much muscle as you're going to put on, it takes about 4 years of training and having everything and doing everything right, and continuously building more muscle by training harder than last time. And you don't gain, like, every year how much you're able to put on less and less muscle until after about 4 years, you might only be able to put on half a pound of muscle a year. All right, so I'm going to get my squat rack set up now for bench press. And I never remember how far I want to set, how low I want to set this bar. Come on, you. All right, so let's see how this weight feels, or this height feels. Because I want to lay down just like this, and I want to, okay, that's still too high. So I gotta lower one more. Let's see how this feels. All right, this is maybe a little tight, but I think that'll do. So let's tighten this up. Perfect. Actually, now that I'm thinking about this, these safeties sort of get in the way. So maybe I want to turn these bars around. Let's do that. Oops. All right. So let's take these right around. Perfect. Riveting content, I know. At the gym, I don't have to spend my time on this silly stuff. Perfect. Yeah. Lost like 4 viewers doing that. All right. Let's get the So I could warm up likely they were bored with messing around with the equipment. I guess people either want to see me dance around or they want to see me lift something. Oh, this is a little bit high still. Oh, shoot. Blah, 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 blah. Dude, my brain's not working anymore. I'm overheating. I can't think anymore. Oh. Oh. You ever try to like just grab something and hang on as long as you can? Those are that typically just becomes a point of pain tolerance. The longer you hold on, the more it burns. You know those those carnival attractions where they have like hang on here for 100 seconds and you'll win a prize. But what they do is they put it on a spinning bar. So when you're holding on, it always rolls your hand to your fingers, right? So you're like try to grab it and hold on, but then like roll your hand back. So you're constantly trying to fight against that, and fatigue's really fast. Well, a couple of years ago, I was 225, and I managed to win those things, win one of those, and it was a lot harder than I thought it was. But I thought it was like, yeah, it's just a bar. I can grab it. I can hang on. I know it's gonna hurt, but I just get used to it. Like I'll just do it. But then I grab like, what this thing rolls. What the heck? But I still did it my first try, and then I looked it up later, and the way that you win, if you can go cross grip, that's basically cheating because it wants to roll. Well, you grab it this way and you grab it that way. It can't roll both ways on your wrist. But the other way that's not cheating, but is still cheating because it works, is you wrap your thumb around the bar and then grab your thumb on the bar and squeeze it. And that helps the bar from rolling. And at the same time, that's a whole nother level of pain because you're spending 100 seconds squeezing your thumb into your hand and just like, ah. But you can instantly like double how long you hold the bar. Oh, I'm tired. I think I'm gonna do this set here. I'm gonna take off all the weights. I'm going to replace them with 50s and still a Simply Too Deep. How's it going? I did a gaming stream today. I played Resident Evil for about 3 hours. I ended my stream and I came here to work out. I'm doing good. Yeah, it's a little bit hard to flex when I'm sitting down. I have nothing really to maneuver off the floor. But no, I'm doing good. I'm glad you're doing the same. I've hit the weights hard, basically since Thursday. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Sunday was my birthday. I did 400 pull-ups, as well as I did a bunch of calisthenic exercises that I videotaped and put on Instagram, which I'm pretty proud of. Um, I do one where I'm swinging and jump, like I'm doing Ninja Warrior stuff where you swing and you jump and you grab the next bar, and the bar spacing is between 6 and 8 feet. So there's one that's 6 feet spacing, one that's 8 feet spacing, and depending on which one you're going to, the bars go up 1.5 or 2 feet. So the first one, I swing across 6 feet and it goes up a foot and a half. No, it goes 6 feet and goes up 2 feet. And then I jump to the next one, which is 8 feet and 1.5 feet down. And then I turn around, I go back 8 feet and 1.5 feet up, and then I go across 6 feet and 2 feet down. And this time I made sure to wear gloves because the first time I did it, I ripped the meat off my hand. But and then yesterday I had a really nice leg workout. So like I felt great. Like I put everything I had in my legs. I was leg pressing everything I could. I was doing assisted squats, squatting everything I could. I was uh, I was doing unassisted no belt squats with 315 pounds. Um, but my mid back started to feel tight, so I stopped. All right, next set, and then I'm gonna add some more weight to this thing. Ouch. Oh, all right, let's add some weight to that because I'm just puttering around at this point. Hey there, Tozva. How's it going? TOZDV. I'm uh I'm doing good yourself. Happy to be here. Pretty tired though. I'm gonna need a rest day soon. Maybe maybe a rest couple days. Whoa. All right, let's go up to. I can't count right now. My brain is fatigued. I can't. Okay, so I got. How much do I got on here? I don't know. I got 100, 185 pounds. Nothing that's gonna break me. Should be nice and easy. All right, so 185 pounds. Normally I put the big weights on the inside, but I felt too lazy. Giraffe NZ32. Giraffe NZ32. How's it going? Oh, it's hot in here. It's sapping my energy. It's making my brain become sluggish. It's melting in, like, it's liquefying my brain, I swear. Hello, Gonna take a minute break, then do my 185-pound bench. This song has a pulse to it. All right, I'm gonna get my head into. This song is a little slow though. I want something that's got some better tempo to it, not like the dun 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 dun. Jeez, what's? I have no idea what song's coming next or even what I'm listening to. It's on a random playlist that's got like 4,000 songs on it. I can't find anything that boils my blood. I've gone through like 12 songs in a row. I'm just skipping until. Now I got an ad. Didn't like it when I kept switching so much. Oh, blah, blah, blah. No, no yawning when you're working out. Oh. I'm going to find myself thong that I feel is going to help me lift. There we go. Good. This will work. Now let's lift something. Oh. But I'm probably only going to do 2 sets of this. And then I will, like, I'm not even going to go near, I'm not going to go to failure here. I'm just going to, but I want to do lat pullovers to finish. So that's what I'm going to do. Oh, shit, come on. There we go. I keep hitting this damn rack. I can't even rack this stupid thing. Yeah, so in the future, I'm going to lower the notch by 1. I'm struggling to re-rack it when I bring it off. I hit the squat rack and it's shifted a little bit, and then every time I was coming down and coming up, I was rubbing along the side of it. That was an unpleasant set. I want to cut my hair. Pretty soon I'll be able to be a headbanger and just. Now I'm just going around. Anybody ever watch that Terry Crews video where he's got all the electrodes on every muscle and he ends up playing music by every time he flexes one muscle, it plays a musical instrument. And so he starts flexing all his muscles at a different pattern, and that's like a big drum. I thought that was pretty entertaining. Oh, shoot. Yeah, so I'm gonna do one more set of bench. Then I'm gonna bring up the straps, um, the bands, get some chest isolation in. I wanna be done the stream within like 20 minutes, half an hour. at the latest. Yeah. Every so often, I have a cyst that keeps coming back, like a avian cyst that keeps coming back on my left wrist. About a week ago, I managed to pop it, and now I can't tell if it's 100% gone or not. Ugh. All right, 1 minute. I'll do my next set, then I'll put away my bench press. Uh, get out a heavy dumbbell. Get out my bands. Yeah, I've been going. I've been going to the gym since Sunday, a week ago, since July 11th, and I've met a lot of friends I haven't seen. Some of them I haven't seen since um, October. Some of them I haven't seen since the beginning of the pandemic. And it's good to see that they're still well. All right, next set. This is really frustrating though. I know it's going to do the same thing. I'm going to try to. I really should just take the weight off, lower the stands, and then put the weight back on. But I'm a, I'm an idiot. I'll, I'll own that moniker for today. Damn it. All right, one more. I'm getting mad. Ah, dang it. All right. Honestly, I might just start doing all my chest days at the gym. My home setup is a little bit subpar. And something like that just aggravates me. When I'm at the gym, everything's just nice. I can just throw the weights on, throw the ball, throw the clip on, done. Here it's just so much middle work for something that's not even as good. All right, so I get my 50s. And now I'm going to set myself up a dumbbell, a heavy dumbbell, get my Bars put away. Get my squat rack back up against the wall. All I need is my bench, my bands, and a dumbbell. All right. Now let's set up a heavy dumbbell. This guy here looks like the ticket. Oh, I got two. I don't know how I did that. But I'm going to do lat pullovers right now. Those are nice gut buster exercises that, well, maybe I'm going to do some band work first, but I'm going to set myself up in the meantime. But these are nice gut buster exercises that you can really use up the last of whatever energy that you have left for the day. So I'll start light, and I can always add on a whole bunch of weight. All right, so I got that dumbbell set up. Now let's get my band, move the camera up. Whew, I feel like I'm getting my second wind here. But man, am I hot. Let's get this fan directly on me. Oh. This isn't. I can't get the right angle on this thing. I'm trying to cut off some of the slack without pulling over my stationary bike, which I have the band attached to. Maybe I'll do a set of dips. Come on, get over my shoulders here. There we go. Mike Woods, how's it going? Thank you, thank you. I'm about to do lat pullovers with maybe throwing some dips. Echelon, how's it going? I did a gaming stream today. Almost 3 hours of Resident Evil 8. And then I took a 5-minute break, moved everything to my workout room. I got marks from the band across my stomach. Oh, yeah. There was a black band around my waist a minute ago. Ding! Yeah. So let's get some dips out of the way before I got so many things wrapped around my technical difficulties. Oh, I'm a half. There we go. Got my granola bars. Oh, I love me some Indian food. A lot of spicier type foods are actually relatively low in calories. So I've been switching up my sauces a little bit. You add, say, like 30 calories of sauce into something that's like 500 calories, and you can get a lot of taste out of a little bit of quantity. Whereas most sauces, you end up getting like 200 calories in something that's 200 calories, and you got as much calories out of sauce as you do out of actual meal. Now I have the suspenders. I wonder if you can still see. I have marks along my back right now, which are from yesterday. I had 820 pounds on my shoulders doing assisted squats. And the weight is still on my shoulders, but it turns the exercise into a mix of leg press with hip thrust. And meanwhile, you go down, and even though it's a machine assisted squat, you're still tightening up your entire core. So you're coming down, and you're really, really tight because you got all that weight on you. And when you thrust, you almost thrust up at an angle. You feel like American footballer hitting the pads. That's what it feels like. I guess so. I don't have a lot of room right now. I'm gonna end up kicking something. Oh, it's getting so hot in here. Oh, that's too low. Little bit too low. Still too low. I started streaming in January. Um, October 2020 to January, I dropped 30 pounds, a lot of it muscle. And for the first time in my life, I was just struggling to find motivation to work out. I had caught an autoimmune disease, like I had an autoimmune disease from a tick bite. I caught Lyme disease at one point in time, and that threw me back in my fitness a great deal. I herniated my disc and tore my glute in 2018. That set me back a big deal, but I never stopped training up until 2020 when we hit our second lockdown. And honestly, I just lost a lot of my motivation, and I was struggling just to commit. So I started streaming, and at the time, I was looking for anything I could just to hold myself accountable to just show up every day. And I never expected to enjoy it as much as I do. And it got to the point where I started to enjoy my home workouts again. And even to the point where I don't need to stream in order to work out at home anymore. All right, I'm gonna do one more set of dips. Then I'm gonna do my lat pullovers and really put out the last of the energy I got left in me today. I might go up to like 110-pound lat pullovers, which is really close to my max. We'll see how it goes. Or I might just stop at 90 pounds. Oh, I'm gassed. Okay. All right. Let's make some room here. I got to keep everything organized in this room or I'll be tripping over everything. So I want to get my bench now. And I got to think, what's the best way to set this up? Maybe I will face this way and lift from here. I can do a couple trial runs. I got a 55-pound dumbbell set up to start. Nice and easy. Nothing that's going to kill me. I got to be careful. I got screws for my station. I started taking my stationary bike apart because I broke it. And now I got screws that I don't want to lose. All right. So let's see if I can set this up. Hopefully my camera doesn't go blurry. Oh. That could definitely be better. So maybe I should move further back. But if I move further back, I got my own issues to worry about. I don't want to hit my stationary bike. Oh, well, first and foremost, right, my streams are really for myself and just to like really improve my workouts. But I welcome all you guys here to come and join me on my journey. For me, the gym has always been as much a social aspect of my life as anything else. And with everything that's going on, I've completely lost, like all my social circles have disappeared. And streaming my workouts has brought back some of the social aspects to my training. All right. Oh. I'm starting in a compromised position, but that's okay. I got weights around my feet. Oh, sliding. I'm stepping on my weights. Jesus, this isn't working. Oh. All right. So for my next set, I think I'm gonna go this way. I think this is a smarter idea here. I think if I set up right along here, I can change the camera a little bit, and then I won't be stepping over my damn weights. My feet were actually sliding on plates as I was lifting. Yeah, for myself, I don't intend to ever make money from streaming. And if I do, I'll just donate whatever I make to some charities in my community dealing with COVID. But even then, since I started using Twitch, there's people that I follow on Twitch, and I see a lot of people who are very hopeful for Twitch to help them make it through these troubled times. And myself, I'm making it through relatively unscathed. I'm an engineer. There's still work available. I'm good at my job. But when you see people that are coming here basically desperate to improve their lives, it's like I'd rather the money flow that's floating on Twitch to go to them instead. But even then, Twitch takes half of everything that you donate, and then there's taxes on top of that. I'm just happy here to dance to my music. That's one thing I can't do at the gym. At the gym, I can sort of groove a little bit, like before I lift, but I can't go out and just like move my body, because at that point, I don't want to be a distraction to other people that are there trying to enjoy their own workouts, right? I don't want to take anything away from anybody else's experience. Whereas here, I'm free to do whatever I want. People can like if people don't don't necessarily jive with what I have, they can move on. That's their ability. But I got a few regulars, which it's nice having regulars. You get to learn about people from all over the world. There's some people like there's one person who started watching me when I first started playing Resident Evil, which was a couple months ago, and he's since used he's since used some of what I've described as motivation to improve his own lot in life, and over time he's describing his progress to me, and I'm proud of the guy. I really am. Like he's doing things the right way, getting some results, and that's great for him. All right, so let's try this again. There goes my camera, right? You're not going to see the weight once it comes up here. So maybe I can move my camera back a bit. That'll be well, for myself, sometimes I'll play along to a point, but don't always feel like humoring people because I don't need a ton of viewers. I'm happy just to have one or two people in the chat chatting with me, and if not, then I just turn up the music and either start grooving out or I start pumping out or I start crushing the weights. So after this set, I'm going to increase the weight, put on 35 pounds to this, go from 55 pounds to 90 pounds. I also like how Twitch saves all my videos. So after every time I work out, I go through my videos, I look at my form, I try to see if I can see progress, try to see the things I need to work on. All right, so let's add some weight to this dumbbell. Oh. Hey there. I'm doing good. I played some video games. I streamed 3 hours of Resident Evil. I've been crushing the weights. Today is a light day because today's a light day because yesterday I absolutely crushed legs. I had 820 pounds on my back. I was squatting 315 just raw, no belt, no nothing. And then and for sets of 8, and then I was doing leg presses, assisted squats, some hamstrings, calves, and I'm still recovering from Sunday. I did 400 pull-ups, probably like 20 muscle-ups, and a bunch of swinging around on the bar like a kid. And what actually was like so Sunday, the like where I was suffering the most was first my fingers. I like 400 pull-ups. I lost a lot of skin on my fingers. So even now, my fingers are a little bit sensitive because there's not a lot of skin on them. And the second was my forearms were cramping up that night. I went to go shower. I couldn't wash my hair. Well, I could, but every time I washed it, my arms would cramp up. And it's not a matter of not getting enough water, because I was drinking, like it was hot, but I was drinking tons of water. My goal was, I was there for like 3 hours. My goal was to weigh more at like when I went home than when I started working out. Okay, so questions. Let me. All right, so cardio. I haven't done much cardio since the beginning of June because I broke my stationary bike, and I'll still go on walks. Like I'm still going on walks twice a week for probably like 2 hours at a time. But the stationary bike is my go-to cardio. What I would typically try to do is once every 2 days, I would try to burn 1,000 calories as fast as I can on the stationary bike. And cardio is about, like, one, it's about a healthy heart. You know, like the most important muscle you have, the heart muscle. That's going to go the furthest for keeping you healthy for the least amount of effort. And then two, it's about burning calories. Burning calories is simply about how much wattage your body is giving off, how much your body is moving, how much you're pushing, how much like you're resisting while you're moving, wattage. And if you stick with one form of cardio, you're going to get even better at that form of cardio, and it's going to become easier as your body gets more efficient at it. But as it gets more efficient at it, you're going to be able to add higher resistance, add more weight to it, and therefore you're actually not going to, like, as it gets easier, you're not going to burn less calories, you're going to burn more. And I don't like cardio per se. A lot of my cardio used to be partner dancing and badminton. I'd play badminton every week, and I do partner dancing 3 times a week. And for like 7 p.m. till like 2 a.m. on a weekend, I just go out dancing with women nonstop. And some of them are swing dancing where it's very bouncy. Some of them are a little bit slower, but it's moving your body. When you're walking, the treadmill is great because you can go on an incline, and you can burn like without really putting in too much, like without really pushing yourself too much. You can burn like 300 plus calories an hour, and that's an extra 3. And if you're doing that regularly, 500 calories burnt a week equals about 1 pound of fat. All right, you're going to bed soon? All right. Thanks for coming out, Calister, as well as pointing me in the right direction in Resident Evil. You saved me some running around a bit, as well as letting me know that, yes, in fact, these monsters were actually killable. But, yeah, so for myself, I don't necessarily like cardio. Cardio is good for just a healthy heart. You don't necessarily need cardio if you maintain your diet. So I haven't done much cardio since June, but I'm watching my diet. I'm eating a lot of high filling, low calorie foods like egg whites, vegetables, a little bit of meat sprinkled in for protein. So I'm just making sure I get enough protein, watching my calories, and I'm still leaning out a little bit. Like I'm not gaining any weight, and I'm not even counting my calories as accurately as I could anymore. I'm just focusing on like satisfy my hunger, high filling, low calorie foods. I'll never overeat. Yeah, and like for myself, I don't necessarily like the stationary bike, but what I'll do is I will put on a movie in front of myself, and it'll sort of distract my brain from what I'm doing, and I'll just let my body do the work, and then I'll just get it over with, and then move on with my life. Like lifting weights, I love lifting weights. Like I love lifting heavy weights. I love just feeling my hands and getting a tight squeeze. Right? Like if I'm in rows, I want to just feel it squeeze and just like you get done, you feel like $1 million, and you get home, have a protein shake after, and you can really feel that you've really torn down your muscles that you're going to repair yourself. And it's all muscle fatigue. Like joint pain or chronic pain is never fun, right? That stuff it will wear you down. But like muscle pain, like I love it. Like I get that, and it's like you tell the difference, and it's nothing but a good time. So next set, guys. I was playing Resident Evil 8. I started playing it when it first came out, but there was an issue with the game kept crashing on me. The second time I got to the village, it just kept crashing instantly. And they came out with some updates to the graphic driver, which accounted for the glitches in Resident Evil 8 that let me to continue to play it now. So now I have a game to play. I also have Stardew Valley, which I started playing when I got my vaccination shot because I was sick for a couple of days. I stayed home, played that game, and that's a popular game that a lot of people stream. So I might take the time to do that someday. All right, next set. So this is 90 pounds. The hardest part is just getting the weight on me without sticking myself with the weight. I got the threaded ends that come through this thing. Oh. 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 So that was fun. Those are gut busters. You really feel them. They'll take the breath right out of you. Oh, yeah. So far, I've beaten every Resident Evil 100%, and on multiple systems too. So for the GameCube, I've got every Resident Evil, including Code Veronica, that I've beaten 100%. I'm starting to run out of water. But I ended up rebuying the games for the Wii and beat them 100% on there, as well as Steam. The only one I actually haven't done 100% on Steam is Resident Evil 0, as well as the multiplayer achievements of Resident Evil 5 and 6. Because by the time I started playing them on Steam, they were old news and there was nobody to play with anymore. Oh. Oh. All right, so I think I'm going to do one more set, and then I'm going to call it. Resident Evil 1 Remake. I got Revelations on the Wii U. It's my #1 game I played on the Wii U, and then I got it on the PC too. Revelations 1 has, like, Norman is one of the hardest bosses out of any game ever. getting the Trinity Award on Ghost Ship is bloody difficult. Like the only way to really cheese it is there's a glitch where you can, like you have to go through the entire level, kill all the enemies. There's like 150 enemies, can't miss any of them. And then at the end, it locks you in a little arena where you get wave after wave that bombard you. And there's a way to, like you walk in, and then as you're walking out, your teammate walks in, and he stays in, and you get locked out. That's the way to cheese it, but like without that, he's just a hard boss to like to get the Trinity Award. You got to beat it without getting hit, and it's the point where he'll teleport in front of you, and you have to master the dodge. But there's Norman, and then there's Ghost Norman, and they have different timings, and you have to play for like to fight Ghost Norman. You have to basically play for like 20 minutes to like 20 minutes to an hour, depending on if you're killing them all, just to have an attempt to try him. And you have a couple of chances to attempt to learn how to dodge before you run out of health, and then you're just dead. Which what is oh, Stream Remake, yeah. I'm not sure I know which tyrant you're talking about that messes with your sight. Yeah, Revelation's got a lot of heat though. A lot of people didn't like it, which I don't get, right? Like it had its episodes, it has episode system, but it was it was a good game. Like lots of Resident Evil games they're just good games. They have replay value. They have like you can play the game as a beginner and get a lot of enjoyment out of it, and then you can like a mid level. You can still have some high challenges, and you can go like these really hard challenges that are like beat the game in an hour without dying and or like without using any healing items. It's like, oh my god, but you can still get good to do it. I remember Resident Evil 7. Resident Evil 7 actually felt like the hardest Resident Evil for me to 100%, because there were some challenges like the end of Zoe, where you play as this grizzled old man in a swamp who basically punches zombies to death with his bare hands, grabs their heads, rips them off, and you actually learn like right trigger is a right punch, left trigger is a left punch, and you learn the combos, and like you really feel like you're this badass from a swamp just wrecking these zombies. But some of the challenges get like really hard. Like you have to run through an entire area of the game and like speed run it and like one hit is going to kill you, and you have to use everything at your arsenal to kill the enemies. And it was one of the most difficult things I've ever done in a Resident Evil game. What's the other minigame? Jack's Birthday. Jack's Birthday, where you're playing as Mia, and it's Jack's birthday, and you have to feed him all this food. So you run around the house, and you run around the dungeons, you run around different levels with preset armor, like preset weapons that you can tailor for how you want to play the game. And you have to run around finding food and killing zombies in order to stop the timer. And you want to make Jack full by feeding him all these foods with the highest amount of time, like with the least amount of time that passes. And getting SS rank in all those were bloody difficult. Like some of them actually had me raging. Like I was just I get so far that it fails. Like it was. I was even using guides for that one too, because I finally I had enough trying to map it out myself when I started using other people's guides, but it was still difficult, and partly it's because I wasn't using a mouse. So I actually did it handicapped with a controller. and you have to shoot. You don't get a headshot, restart. Okay, so you get a headshot like 15 enemies in a row. Miss one, okay, restart. Oh, Jack's birthday was hilarious. Like you're right through killing zombies, and they want to rip your throat apart, right? But you can't find it like you can't get him. You can't find it suspenseful. You can't get like scared by it. You don't feel any tension. You're just running around having a good old time, getting frustrated because like not because you're dying, because you messed up. It's like, all right, so last set right here. I want to also see who's online to raid after this. All right, I know who I'll raid. Yeah. Yeah, the only Resident Evil games I haven't actually played are the multiplayer only. Like I haven't played Reverse. Oh, that's the new one that's coming out, right? There's another one that's like a alliance, I think it is, where you one person's the mastermind, the rest is the team trying to make it to the end. Um, the reason why I didn't play it is because those games would make me rage to the point of like I want to win, I don't want to lose, and it's like when you play Call of Duty and you start yelling at the screen just because you get frustrated, right? And I want to be mellow right now. I don't want to go through that. I don't want to put myself through that right now. And then I got to look at my ratings, and the ratings are going to stress me out because like it keeps track. ResidentEvil.net keeps track of how many times you win, how many times you lose. And I'd rather see go to ResidentEvil.net and see 100%, 100%, 100%. I don't want to see. All right. Do we have the camera set up right? Let's check this out. Good enough. What about Zero? And Code Veronica was really good too. Code Veronica, I wish they would make a Code Veronica remake, but part of the attraction of Code Veronica is the controls are a little bit different. Like Resident Evil 4 has its own control scheme, right, which is very like nostalgic of that game. Well, Code Veronica has the same thing. They went a little they like I think it came out on the Dreamcast, and they pioneered the game mechanics the same way that they pioneered them for Resident Evil 4. So Code Veronica actually feels like a really well streamlined game that is fresh enough from the originals. Whereas like Resident Evil 1, you get your fixed camera, right, and that's a whole game mechanic. You get to I've also got the Resident Evil on the PlayStation. And let me tell you, Resident Evil 1 on the PlayStation did not age well. I went back and I played it the 100% about 2 years ago. And you're looking at pixel people. It's like, how did I ever find this scary? All right, last set. Oh, crap. My music turned on to an ad. So how's that? Yeah, they're remaking Resident Evil 4, aren't they? I'd rather see them remake Code Veronica. All right. Oh, it's been my longest streaming day in quite a while. I'll send you this guy. He's got tons of good positive energy. More than me for sure. For myself, I'm more mellow. I like to have my own type of energy, as opposed to you see some guys who are almost like fitness trainer, like stereotype, just like, yeah, boys, let's go, right? I'm just more, I like to be more grounded. I'm using HD 1080 Logitech something or other. It was the #1 camera that was recommended to me on Google for streaming on Twitch, and I don't like it. It's crap. It's always going out of focus. But anyways, thank you everybody for coming today, joining me on my journey to get a little bit stronger. I got some guys help me out here with my Resident Evil. I enjoyed that. I will definitely stream it again. I might not. My next time might not actually be on stream, but I'll get back to it on stream again. Thank you, everybody. It's been fun. Have a good night, everybody.